of trying to work out and make a huge difference in your physical shape. 10-15 minutes a day of maybe meditation, 10-15 minutes a day of finding out what you're really good at, right? Learning something new, right? So 10-15 minutes a day, you do an hour a day or something like that of all these categories. In a couple of weeks, you're a different person. You're thinking, you're kind of hitting the different side of your brains that you never really hit because you were just on remote control, as they say, or on I would say on. Hey everybody, we're back, and as we're here on my daily vlogs, I wanted to just jump on in on when the situation is going on, everything that's going around us, the crazy year that we've had. I've probably said it before, but I keep on repeating it. How this year has been one of the most, I think, if anything, one of the most stripping down of every single human being we have so far here, of our daily routine, right? Habits that we do every day. And to be honest, I think the ones that are being able to thrive and survive in these times, well, not just survive but thrive, are the ones that are able to adapt, and able to make the best out of the situation. You've heard it plenty of times, we hear it all the time, make the best out of it, right? In everything we do, right? Whether you have, something you don't want to do and you got to do it anyway. Maybe you have a tough financial situation. Maybe you have a tough, maybe you're in a certain job that you don't like. Maybe you made a mistake and now you have to maybe go to court and do these things, and we've all been there, right? We've done situations where sometimes we do things that we don't think, and things happen, and I don't think it means that you're a bad individual or human being. It's just sometimes we make mistakes, and we are all, I think, the right to do that, right? We don't have I don't think that nobody's perfect, right? And we all know that, right? As you grow older, you know that. But I think making the best out of every situation, and in these times right now that we're living at right now, those that can adapt to the situations the best, I think, are going to be able to maybe come out stronger, understand that maybe a lot of things that we did every single day don't really need to be done that way. And I probably said in my videos before, but I just want to reiterate here. You ever thought about certain things we do every day, that we do it just one way? We never thought about how can we kind of challenge that, because we never had to. Everything was a certain way for us already, planned out for us. And if you know me, if you follow my channel, I'm kind of always against the norm, right? Or why is the norm that way? I'm always questioning and challenging. People don't like me for that, but I'm always understanding why these things have to be done a certain way. Even when I was in the corporate world, I would get in certain situations where I would ask questions and counter questions on why we have certain policies and certain rules, and how effective and actually how unproductive they were to me and to the colleagues, right? To how they weren't really beneficial. It was just rules in place, and they were set in stone for every single branch, every single location. I think everything has its own, it depends, right? It's the big word that it depends on the situation, where you're at, wherever you're doing. Even in life, everybody's different. Nobody has the same situation, and I can never be in your situation, and you can never be in mine, and that's okay. But setting on stone certain rules and certain ways of living is, I think, a success, formula to failure. I would say positive way, because my lifestyle is not necessarily yours, and your lifestyle is not mine. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse. It's just we have a different rhythm of life, different workflow, different way of living. Everybody's different, right? I remember I've watched Jay Shetty. I haven't watched him in a while, but he had a couple of videos that I used to always follow him, and he says, if in school, if we taught every every person the same, it's like teaching different parts of nature, different animals. Taught, if a fish was taught to go on land, he wouldn't survive. He would die, right? Because he needs water. He needs that situation to survive. If we taught a bear to live in water, he would probably survive for a little bit, but he eventually would die. He would need to hunt. He would need to be able to walk on land. You can never teach a bear to be a giraffe. You can't teach a giraffe to be a fish. So everybody has their own ways in their own lives, in their own purpose, in their own situations in their life. And that really hit me hard because it can be really easy, especially now in times like these, that you want to be, I would say, maybe comparing yourself or even trying to follow a path that might not be yours. And that's why I created the channel. The reason why I do these videos is because if you're watching, if anybody's come across these videos and you're a creator or you're thinking of creating, you're thinking of doing something that's not normal, I want to be able to support you and understand that that's okay, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, right? Whatever you do is something that it's your calling, is your doing, and it doesn't mean that it's not, not a good thing, right? Or not, just because it's not seen right now, it's not being done by others, doesn't mean that it's not something that will be successful or will be your life, your career, right? And sometimes we lose sight of that because we don't see proof, we don't see evidence of it. So you think that you can never do that or you can never bring it to fruition, but who's to say, right? And that's my model, my way of going upon life. And maybe some people might call it a dreamer, some people might call it delusional, but it's two ways we can live a life. We can live a life delusional or pessimistic and not thinking that nothing will ever work out in your favor, and live your life that way. You can live that way. Everybody has their own way of living life, but I always say, why not? That question of why not? Why not do this? Why not put out there? Why not put content? Why not do things in your leisure, in your way? You have really think about how much you actually have to lose, and practically you probably don't have anything to lose. Besides maybe some uncomfortable conversation with people watching your content and telling you, I saw you on YouTube, saw you on Instagram, saw you on whatever, doing things, and hey, would you rather be, I would say, liked and not being yourself, or maybe not liked and just being yourself and loving yourself, who you are? I think every star you've seen, all these individuals that we see that succeed at their level, they've had to wait, not only make their own path, but eventually isolate themselves, because not everybody's gonna see it. It's your vision for a reason. And I think now with this pandemic here, we're forced to be isolated. So if you have people in your ear telling you can do this, you can do that, let's hang out over here, let's do this, all of that's been taken away from us, right? In the small concept of it, not completely, but most of it, we're trying to isolate each other, as they say, trying to avoid this infection of spreading. So you have time, and what you do with that is up to you. 10, 15 minutes a day of trying to work out and make a huge difference in your physical shape. 10, 15 minutes a day of maybe meditation. 10, 15 minutes a day of finding out what you're really good at, right? Learning something new, right? So 10, 15 minutes a day, you do an hour a day or something like that of all these categories. In a couple of weeks, you're a different person. You're thinking, you're kind of hitting the different side of your brains that you never really hit, because you were just on cruise control. If you ever had a vehicle, if you go on a certain speed, I think about 55 miles per hour, you can cruise control and it stays at that miles per hour on your trip regardless. Normally when you go on long trips, you put it on cruise control and you don't have to accelerate it. It goes by itself. That's kind of the way I know for me, most of us been living our lives, right? We're on cruise control. We don't really think about it, and we just, I don't know for you, but I know many times when I was working in the city, my job as a porter, I'm fancy job. I was a maintenance, basically a cleaner, janitorial situation in the city, and I would have to go in early every day. That was part of my job, and talking about like 6 a.m. I don't know if that's early for you guys, but for me that was early. Going to the city, and there'd be times that I would get to my job, and I would have to transfer certain trains and bus a train, and everything was like automatic. Like I got to my job, I didn't even know. Sometimes I had to go, like after work, I would have to go to like a doctor's appointment or maybe a dentist appointment or whatnot. And my body was so used to doing the same routine every day that sometimes I would get on the train coming home and have to go back to the city because I forgot that I had to go to the doctors or something like that. So I would say subconscious in your brain, I do believe your subconscious in your brain is used to that routine and on cruise control when you're doing something you don't really care for, I think, personally. But it could be the other way around too. You can do something you love for the rest of your lives, and you're passionate and you're ready for the work, and you'll go on cruise control as you go hardcore on what you love, and you won't have to think that much. But I think when you start doing things you kind of care for and you really want to make an impact, you think more than when you do things that don't really, I would say, call to you. And I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but when something that you got to do it just to do it, you get your instructions, directions, you do it, get it done, go home. Um, Obviously, get a job well done, but you do it as the way it's being told you to do it, and you go home. When you're working on something that you really want to kind of, I would say, like a masterpiece in art. Maybe you're creating something, maybe you're starting your own business, whatever it may be. It's your baby, it's your artwork. Like any artist, you're gonna think and erase and start and erase, start and erase, and then kind of perfect it and add color and add contour and all these things. Just try to make it as perfect as possible. Which at the end of the day, this is why I think a lot of us also fail. We try to make it too perfect, and we really don't put out anything. We don't do anything. For me, it could be content, try to make everything perfect, lighting, everything else. And I spent a couple of weeks on freeze mode, learning about different material, different equipment. Although it's great, but at the same time, it kind of froze me from my creativity side. I was actually more on focusing how to produce it as opposed to just creating. And Gary Vee talks about a lot about that as well. But we love, there's no cruise control because you're constantly thinking of how to make it better, how to bring value, how to actually be better. Anyway, just get better. And then on the opposite side of that, when you do something you don't care for, or not really I would say your motivation, you get your instructions, you do the job as best as you can, and you go home. And you're not really thinking about how can I make this job better. I can give you a great example. When I was working in the city, I was a janitor. There's only so many ways I can mop a floor. There's only so many ways I can clean the bathroom. There's only so many ways I can polish and buff a floor, right? There's only so many ways I can vacuum a carpet. There's only so many ways I can, trying to think, clean the sidewalk. There's a tipping point, and I do believe there's people for every occupation. There's people that are great at what they do for every single occupation. I've been a lot of great janitors that they had ideas for certain things. Like my coworker, he's just, he'll make a job to me that looks so hard. He'll make it look easy, and that's a gift from him, right? And that's a kind of like what everybody has their own gift. You can make something look simple, and I think that's your gift. And we all have that, right? For me, I think for me, it looked easier for me to always think on the fly and kind of have conversations with individuals, strangers, even on my way to work, sometimes on the train. Sometimes we'll catch conversations on the bus. If you live in New York City, you know what I'm talking about. But, that's something that I felt like it just came natural. Some people don't care for that, don't want to do it, don't want to have discussions with others. They want to just be left alone. But at the end of the day, I think we all have that niche and that special gift. And I think now with this pandemic, we're being kind of rerouted with all this going on, the chaos, the package, the pandemic, the election, the government, all this stuff. All those things are going to be taken care of, regardless of whether you pay attention to it or you don't. It's going to take care of itself. And that's something, reminder myself I give myself every day, because it's very easy to get kind of swallowed in that whole media propaganda type of thing. First of all, go out there and vote. So don't forget that. Definitely go and vote. That's something we have to do, I think. I have never voted. My first time voting, I will probably take a couple of pictures of it. It's just my memory, and probably take my daughters with me, because I just never thought it was a serious thing. But if I want to lead by example for my kids and hopefully the future of this country, I got to use my right? And that's a right we have. And sometimes I know learning about how many people don't have that right or have been stripped away from them, it's kind of made me kind of rethink of the voting process, how it's a right, and it's some people are those rights are taken away from them. And when I learned that, I'm like, you know what, I gotta make this a big deal. Go out there and vote for the people that could still vote. And so don't let these things take you away from your dedication, your purpose, what ignites you. But don't let that don't let these things kind of distract you, And I'm not saying don't pay attention to it totally. Obviously you want to stay informed as much as you can, but when you feel overwhelmed, stop that. Make some content, create some art. Trust me, this is what I try to do. You see my videos here. The debate is going on right now, or was going on. Didn't want to watch today. Just came on to make some content. And feel better about myself, feel better about the country, feel better about the whole world. Understand that we have a much bigger purpose than, you know, what's really going on with what we think is going on. We don't really know what's going on, right? Who knows? We know nobody's in the house right now figuring things out, right? Personally. But like I said, stay on your path. Don't get distracted. And, you know, I think it's time for us right now to choose, to start thinking about what is that really gives you that fire. And I've been saying that for the last couple of months. But wake up call. If you're seeing this video, wake up call. And wake up call for myself as well. Start doing what you love. Keep on doing it. And, you know, the doubt's going to come. Everything is going to kick in. But that's part of the process. So, like I said every day, stay to it. Do it. I'll see you next time.